Okay, so we're here at SHOT Show 2025 with Trump in office. Whether that makes you happy or not, we're happy. So we're here at SHOT Show, and Johnny's been nice enough to bring people here to talk about firearms and insurance. I don't know if you know it or not. I'm known affectionately as the insurance preacher because I preach insurance because it's the stupidest business. The name of my podcast is I Hate Insurance. And that's why I started my own insurance company, is because I know it doesn't make sense to you, right? It doesn't make sense to anybody. You ask anybody about their insurance, and they go, I had a small claim and they canceled me, or I had a small thing, but I didn't report it. And I'm always like, well, why didn't you report it? And they're like, because they'll cancel me. So, in the firearms business, you train, you prep. It's all about having a plan, or you're an idiot with a weapon, right? If you don't train and plan. So, again, here on the TVs, the wildfires in California, insurance is supposed to deal with that crap. And every time a storm or a fire or a lawsuit comes in, it fails, right? Your agent or broker moves you to a new company. And so, to me, this is so easy, a caveman could do it, right? You plan for the worst. That's what everybody in the military, firearms, and insurance should do. But insurance guys offer you a can of corn, right? It's packaged by them, for them. It ain't made for you, right? If they can't make money, they shrink the size of it, and you don't know. So, if you do that, you set up the lawyers. It's the easiest lawsuits in the world. The one that you're probably most familiar with is Remington. So in my world, I've been fighting lawsuits for 40 years, and I win most of them because I refuse to settle. When you're right, you don't negotiate with a terrorist. Again, same in war, right? Same when you're comp or whatever. The minute you show weakness, you're feeding the problem. So Remington, when you settle a lawsuit, you don't go broke. So tell me how they settled the lawsuit that wounded everybody, and they end up going bankrupt anyway.
Sure.
They call me and want to come out of bankruptcy, and I ask them, I'm like, I've been doing this. How do you do this? How do you end up in such a bad spot? If you wouldn't have settled, you could have gone bankrupt, but you wouldn't have paid them and gone bankrupt. So anyway, why don't you tell us who you're with and your name, and so everybody knows who I'm talking to here.
Sure. My name is Tom. I'm with Staccato. I'm the field marketing manager. I've been with them now for about 4 years. We're based out of Austin, Texas, so we make what's called the 2011. For a lot of people, that's just a model. But the truth of the matter is we actually own that. So we are the only 2011s out there. And for people that don't know or may not be gun guys, it's more or less a play on the functions of the standard 1911. Only it's double stack. It's a three-piece frame instead of a two. And effectively that reduces recoil by 25-30%. So it makes it way, way, way easier to use. And so when a lot of people come out and they shoot our guns for the first time, it's like a cheat code. Right. I think someone you'll have on later, David from First Form, he came out to Staccato Ranch with one of our professional shooters, Michelle Vescusi, a few months back, got to shoot the whole lineup. And it was, you let the pistol do the work, makes it a better shooter.
So now I'm mad. Why don't I have one of these?
Hey,
you guys buy everything you want. And, tell me how cool stuff is. This sounds pretty cool.
We've been telling you, huh, Johnny? We've been telling him.
We've been saying it.
Yeah, we've been telling you.
They're full of shit. I haven't heard anything from these guys.
Tom, talk about Staccato
Johnny.
Ranch and everything you have out there, because that's something we've got to get you out to.
Yes, that's another thing. So we start off as STI in 92, and in Georgetown, Texas, we start off with about 35,000 square feet across from Georgetown Airport. And here just about a year and a half ago, a couple years ago, we transitioned and bought this ranch in Texas about an hour north of Austin. And we're on 800 acres now. Almost tripled the size of our facility. We're sitting on 100,000 square foot of manufacturing floor. Everything's all done in house. We got, of course, our pistols. We got ammo out there. I think we have like 25 outdoor bays, 35 indoor bays. We got 3 sporting clays courses. We're working on putting up a long range rifle course right now. We have a lake out there that we stock with bass. We're going to have archery out there eventually. It's going to be like a shooting Disneyland. And not only that, as of just this week on the 20th, we took over what was Prairie Fire, which is now Staccato Vegas, the old front side location out there in Pahrump. That's all Staccato now. So we're going to Staccato everything.
So do you know the helicopter guys there at Georgetown? Isn't there a guy there that sells helicopters?
I think there is a guy. I don't know. We've actually had multiple events where we'll use our helicopters out there and let people come out and shoot from them. But I don't know the guy by name.
So anyway, you have this really cool place down there.
It's awesome.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's
you
awesome.
hold events there and
all sorts of events. Yeah, we've done. I think the biggest one that we obviously all sorts of nonprofits for a lot of local Wilco sheriffs and organizations down there. But we had a event that we collabed with Tulsi Gabbard a few months back. She came down and it was kind of a fitness cross with shooting event. It was awesome. Great turnout.
Very cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think that's what we try and do, Again, people sell insurance policies. I say I don't sell policies. I form partnerships. I insure the helicopter ski guides and people that mountain climbing in the national parks, and they were uninsurable in 1985. Motocross tracks, and we've stabilized that market. We have accidents, stuff happens, and when you buy insurance, again, people are afraid to report. They want to not upset the apple cart. What are your losses? And it's like, and I always tell people if you can't report your claims immediately, you got crappy insurance. It's hanging on a thread. That's no way to go through life. It's like wondering if your gun's going to fire.
Sure.
Right. It's really, really. I think it's disappointing that, big insurance companies don't get it. Many difficult classes like this, they just keep raising your deductible. So, I insured brand new Margaritaville
very nice.
in Fort Myers, and it had a $23 million claim in the end. They couldn't get coverage. They had a big deductible. I don't know what it was. We had 2 claims in 1 year, which, insurance guys say it can never happen.
Sure.
Right. And most of them say, well, another storm will never hit there again. Well, last year proved them wrong, 2 of them. And, again, they're still waiting to be paid by their old carrier from a claim 3 years ago. Within 2 weeks, we were down there paying them. There's no deductible, right? First dollar, I pay 20%. Of every dollar, they pay 20%. I pay 80, they pay 20. It's called quota-share, so that your interests are aligned. If I give you a deductible of $100,000 and your roof blows off, the roofer comes in and says, "What's your deductible?" Right? And it's all just incestual for people to try and make the most out of it. And insurance companies are trying to pay the least and move slow. Moving slow in any claim just makes it more expensive. And so, if you're getting bids from roofers, I don't care what their bid is, because we need it fixed fast because you're out of business. Same with you. If you had a storm or something and you're down, you can't produce product. Fixing it is the most important thing. And, having an exclusion, being underinsured, all that stuff. So we actually walk any insured through the partnership and what it looks like now. Right? These guys in California, none of them are going to get enough to rebuild their house because they bought the cheapest insurance. And they have exclusions. Mudslides, which are the next thing coming, aren't covered. Earthquakes not covered. Floods not covered. So that feeds the legal system. That's why in Florida, Texas, any coastal, the lawyers get rich suing insurance companies. And to me, it's stupid. We should not do that anymore. All the buyers need to quit looking to the government, right? Government flood, government terrorism. As an insurance company, that's my job to underwrite the risk, right? And if half of my coverage is going to come from the government, so the FAIR plan in California has $400 billion in losses from this storm or from the fire. They have $200 million in surplus. So they can pay out $200 million and they're done. They have $2.5 billion in reinsurance, but they're still under $3 billion in coverage, and they have over $400 billion in losses. So we all get to pay for that because everybody looks to the government. So, gun industry doesn't look to the government. They're trying to shut you down, and the key there is it's just like the border. Right? If you open the border, if you settle a bullshit lawsuit. So in New Orleans, where this guy went up Bourbon Street and ran over the guys in a Ford, do you think Ford's going to get sued? They should. If gun companies have
probably,
to pay.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, the lawyers will get there. Believe me, they're not. They like, and again, I'm not. I used to say I hate plaintiffs' lawyers, but in reality, they're doing their job. Right? If you make a defective product and it starts injuring people, whether it's airbags or whatever, that's what they should do, right? But it's most of the time they're going after, I could list 1,000 lawsuits I've won that are just totally based on the injury. Now, we had one in Florida where a kid sadly lost his leg, but he was drunk, he was speeding, and he didn't wear a seatbelt. Cops say, you can't sue, I have immunity. Well, no, if you cross the line, you have no immunity. I know that because I got wrongfully arrested in Chicago. And, I won, got it thrown out, and then I wanted to sue the cops, and they're like, you can't sue the cops. They have immunity. Well, that's what lawyers tell you. Because if my leg would have been cut off, right, they would have sued them because there's damages there. But, they're like, you're a rich guy. Nobody's ever going to give you any money. And I said, number one, I'm not rich. I work hard. And it's, not easy to do what we do. But, I won $200,000. Cops were found guilty of wrongful arrest. I had video and cost me a lot of money, which is what your insurance company's supposed to spend to protect you.
Right.
Right. So firearms coverage, when I insure your home, when I insure your business, we don't exclude firearms. If they say you assaulted somebody or you sexually abused, we don't have those exclusions on our policy. They never were on there. But as that litigation grows, the insurance companies say, well, we don't want to cover that. And I know USCCA does the same thing, right? They don't cover you. If, there's a guy in LA that got arrested and he wanted him to cover him, represent him. And they said, well, you didn't fire your gun, so there's no coverage. Well, what if you punch somebody? What if you never get your gun out and you defend yourself? You stab them with a knife. So I insure you regardless of whether it's a knife, your fist, you're a martial artist. And that's what I want, right? So I don't sell you, I call them turds. Policies people buy are turds because when you use it, it'd be like being in a Porsche with no engine.
Right.
Right? It's just not going to perform the way you want. Or a poorly made gun doesn't operate as well. 3-piece is better than 2-piece. I mean, it's common sense, right? So insurance is ready to be changed. And, there is no secret to it. It's just like you. There's no secret to it. You build your own shit. You do it in-house. You test it. You make sure it's right. And it's just fundamental good business and everything. So, we offer the firearms industry a true partnership, right? When the going gets tough, we fight and we stick with you, right? And I have 10,000 clients now nationwide, much larger than I ever thought would be. But, it's I say I insure the land of the misfit toys. Not that you're in the land of the misfit toys, but you're definitely in the target range of people, haters of guns, lawyers who want to, make a lot of money. And again, these associations, U.S. Law Shield, and I've met with some of them. It's it's an association or group program that doesn't really perform the way that everybody thinks it does. And I think more people are figuring that out, right? I see lawyers with podcasts that are now offering to represent you on a retainer basis. And I've talked with some of them too. And, it's not real insurance. It's not what I can offer. So again, we're here for you individually. We're here for the industry. Again, I've talked with some of the larger manufacturers, and one of them I met with years ago before their gun was used in a shooting. And I told him, I said, the problem with you is you're like a homeowner in Florida. As long as the storm doesn't hit you, you're good.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of short-sighted because we're all connected. Right. You should worry about the other gun companies where their gun is used, because eventually it could be you. And if they mismanage it like Remington did, it affects you, right? So affects me, right? Affects everybody that's a firearms lover. So anyway, do you have any insurance questions?
No, man. I mean, I think that's great. For one, I mean, the industry itself is always going to be kind of I don't want to say a sensitive subject for people outside of the industry, but there's always going to be people that
hate.
Yeah, all the time. And you can't make them all happy, so you just kind of got to keep chugging away.
Yeah, well, again, I think education is kind of something that people who don't like firearms and hunting, they're really not educated about it. I belong to a homeowners association up in Utah that they haven't hunted because it's 20,000 acres, almost 20,000 acres, but it's connected to like 3 million, and they don't like hunting. All right. Well, the aspen trees, the elk eat the aspen trees, the whole thing. Deer and sheep eat the leaves. And so you go up there and, again, there's a guy up there that's a photographer and a big hunter. So he wants to hunt this land. And he shows you where the aspen trees are really tall. And then for the 20 years they didn't hunt, there's no new aspen tree growth.
Right.
And then there's new growth. Again, it's education, right? Same as river trips. People think river trips in the Grand Canyon are dangerous. The commercial guys down there are the best. They let everybody enjoy it. They educate people. When you leave with smokers who used to just throw their butts out, they don't do that anymore after they've been on a raft trip because they think about it. And, you're being educated the whole way. So good businesses educate people. They don't try and kind of hide from it. And, the more the gun industry can partner up, right? There's always some bad apples that you don't want to be. It's like, well, they do stuff different, right? We got to be above the standard of care. And when we screw up, if there is a claim, we go at it. We don't hide it from each other. That's not what good partners do. So, again, kids on the playground, right? Big bullies bigger than you. If, we're smaller and we say, hey, this guy, let's take him on, it's over. Right?
Yeah.
You can't take on multiple attackers. So anyway, we appreciate you. I'm going to make sure that we get to use or buy one of your guns.
Yeah, so I mean, Staccato, you guys only make pistols, right?
Yep, just pistols, all 9mm.
Yeah.
So a lot of what we do, obviously, anyone can buy them, but we're hitting the LA market super, super hard. So
right,
we're gonna kind of see a lot more takeover on that this year.
Right. Well, good. Well, we got lots of 9mm rounds. I don't know how many we bought, but hundreds of thousands.
Well, and any
now it can be Staccato ammo. See, because that's all in house too.
So how long have you been making ammo?
We've been making ammo now. I'd say sometime between 6 months to a year, somewhere in that ballpark. We just kind of, I want to say, perfected it, because we can always make it just a little bit better. But the stuff we got now is pretty good stuff.
Well, to make it better, you got to pay more, right?
Oh yeah, well, that's the cost of doing business, all right.
So, you guys just build a whole new plant to do that?
We had a space that was set up in that new footprint just for ammo.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been quite the undertaking.
All right. All right. Well,
Any staccato law enforcement agent owners that want to check out personal liability on and off duty, maybe we should.
so again, when you buy an umbrella policy in the old days, it used to cover stuff that your primary policies don't cover. So, your dog bite's not covered, your firearms not covered, your trampoline, there's just all kinds of things. We don't do that, right? If you have a pool trampoline, we look at it and you have to fence your pool, right? You got to do what's required. It's called an attractive nuisance, just like leaving your gun out loaded. You have to act responsibly. So, we give everybody that buys an umbrella, I don't care who it's from, the umbrella guys, the RLI, there's lots of companies that offer it. It's not umbrella anymore, it's excess. So if your homeowner's policy is $500,000 or $1 million and it excludes those things, it also excludes them. It's called a following form policy. So it just takes your limits higher. Having higher limits with exclusions is a dumb idea. You're better off filling the exclusions than trying to buy a higher limit. But our policy covers, whatever you tell us about, work, home, and play. So back in the 50s, 60s, your dad went off to fucking the GM plant with his lunchbox.
Sure.
Right? Work was work and home was home. So home policies exclude anything to do with your business. Right? Business policies exclude anything to do with your personal life. Well, that isn't life today. Life today, I take people out hunting, you take people out to your shooting range, it might be friends, might be family, so you really don't want to think about it that hard. You have work, home, and play, whatever your hobbies are. You schedule it, ATVs, snowmobiling, firearms, horseback, I don't care what it is. You're a girls' basketball coach, right? You wouldn't believe what goes on at girls' basketball games between the parents, right? The fight, coach fight, all of that stuff's something that they get to deal with separately, and that's really not what you want to do. You want, somebody that actually helps you through those difficult things. And so we customize each policy. We don't offer cans of corn like the other guys. So we do offer police officers coverage when they got their immunity taken away in some of the states. They got real worried. I said, the immunity goes away anyway. They can still sue you. It really comes down to whether your department's going to cover you or not.
Right.
And then if the department throws you under the bus, then it's your national association. And, they basically, through their membership, try and apply pressure. And, I've talked with all of those about providing them coverage, because when the immunity was going to go away, they were like, oh my gosh, we're going to end up catching all this. So we probably insure 1,500 police officers. I'd say the most of them are in New York City, and they're sergeants, where they're worried about the crew that they oversee, which we cover. But, they would be attacked individually. And if they're thrown under the bus by their organization, state or local, we step up and defend them individually. So, we don't like just selling them that one sliver, which most of them, that's what they do. We prefer to do the umbrella and cover over their homeowners and their auto, and because that's what I would want. Anytime you have more than one policy or multiple policies, the lawyers use that as an attack weapon. Construction's the best example, where you got 16 contractors on job. You have an accident with one of them, say the brick mason drops something, hits some inspector. They sue everybody. And you say, well, I had nothing to do with it. And it's like, yeah, we really don't care. It's going to cost you $50,000 to defend it, so pay us $25,000,
right?
And you'll save $25,000. And that's, lawyers tell you that makes sense all the time. To me, it doesn't make sense. I get sued. 40 years I've been sued by 2 employees for discrimination, which I don't. If you were a Martian and you come to my office and you work, I'm sure with you too, you got a Martian there making better numbers than anybody else, you're not going to complain. we all need good people. So now I could always settle it for less than it cost me, right? But when you settle it, you're going to get more lawsuits. So I've had 2, fought them both, won both. I don't get sued for it. So it's just fundamentally the same. A, you're wrong, you take care of it. B, you're not, you spend more money to end up better off down the road. And Remington is the biggest, nightmare that affects this industry that I'm aware of. I know that there's another big lawsuit going on with a straw purchase up in Minnesota, I believe, with a retailer. They're looking for new coverage, and I've been talking to them. So when people have those things, in most cases, they wake up and become a better partner.
Right.
If you've never had a claim, it's like, I'm never going to have a claim. It's the other guys, right? And that's kind of naive. But, when you're the best in most businesses, you feel more comfortable than if you're, not the best. So sounds like you guys are the best.
We are the best, yeah.
Then I need to get one of your
You do?
weapons.
Yeah, come out to the ranch.
Well, I'll try. And I think where I bought my helicopter, they moved to the Georgetown airport. They used to be at another airport, and they're great people. And so if I'm not in my own helicopter, I think I can probably get one.
Yeah, I think we got one out at our Las Vegas location.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
I've been out there to the racetrack years ago, but I haven't been out there for a while, so that'd be fun too. Well, I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah,
to the
appreciate you having me on.
Insurance podcast. Don't forget it.
Yeah, we'll have to team up and do some summits together.
Yeah, we like to take groups of people, that we know, contractors, trash guys, outfitters, take them someplace unique, have an event, and, people and you like, you can do great things with. And the people you spend time with and you don't like, you don't have to do business with them. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah, makes it easy.
I used to golf a lot, and that was a good indicator too. If you cheat at golf, I'm pretty sure you cheat at everything.
Well, I need to cheat at golf. I'm going to shoot under 100 nowadays.
Yeah, well, I'm no good, but it's good to be outside. But again, we appreciate you.
Yeah, like I said, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yep. Well, it's nice to meet you.